Okay, we are live and going.
Okay, welcome back, worldwide web, interweb viewers. You are here with What the Foxtrot. I'm Bob, and this is John and Austin.
Howdy. Hi.
Today we are going to play a game called Dominion. Dominion is a deck builder game by Rio Grande Games. It's a 2 to 4 person. It's about 30 minutes per game. And they call it an 8+ just because there are a little bit complicated rules with some of the more advanced versions of the game. Today, this is John's first introduction to a deck builder game. And so we're going to go through it at slow at first, and then we'll kind of pick up the pace as we go. So for those of you who don't know what Dominion is, you'll have to pick up the information as we go. We're going to start out by giving everybody their first deck, which is 10 cards. Which is 7 copper and 3 estates. So you start out with 3 victory points. So this is your opening deck. This is your, every time you play Dominion, you start with the same deck. What we're going to do is we're going to shuffle those cards together, and then we're going to place them face down into our deck. And then we're going to draw our first hand of 5 cards. Now everything on the table has a value, a purchase value. If you're watching out there, you can see the purchase values here. They're not going to be very clear to you guys because it's a long ways away, and I have not invented a tripod or a camera hanger yet.
I did see one for cell phones that clips onto the table and arms out.
We may be getting something different here shortly, but suffice to say that can they see my hands? What can they see?
They can see your hands.
Can you turn
the
screen so that I can see? Okay, good. Sorry. All right, everybody. No, they can't see me at all.
That's me.
Oh,
it's delay.
You. Oh, they can't see John at all. So we can reduce my side a little bit and bring yours in so that we can. Okay, so what we're going to do is you have your deck and then you have your discard pile. So you draw your first hand, 5 cards. Austin's going to go first. Oh, I'm going to go first and then Austin and then John, okay? So I'm going to play with my hand open because it doesn't really matter in my style of play. You guys do not have to show your hands. So my first hand is 3 copper, which are worth 1, and 2 estates, which are worth nothing. They're just victory points. Now, we are going to play until all of these provinces are gone. They cost 8 coins. So, during your turn, you draw a hand. You get 1 play if you have an action card, and you get 1 buy. I don't have any action cards, so I'm going to skip my action phase and go directly into my buy phase. I have 3, and for 3 I can get the workshop, the village, the cellar, or the moat, or the woodcutter, and each of them have different abilities. We're going to talk about them as we go through. So the workshop lets you gain a card on the table without having to buy it. It just gives you an automatic card that costs 4 or less. The smithy lets you draw 3 cards. The mine gives you +1 action and discard any number of. So this is discard any number of cards and get +1 card per discard. So if you use the cellar as your action, you can discard cards and draw new ones. So I am actually going to buy a cellar because it only costs 2. I'm going to then trash my hand and my buy into my discard pile, and then I draw a new hand, and then it is Austin's turn. Austin has 4 copper, so he can buy anything that is 4 or less.
Which is everything.
Which is not everything. The market costs 5, and the mine costs 5. So while Austin's deciding, I'm going to talk a little bit more. You can always buy a copper. They are 0. You can always buy a silver. They cost 3. And you can always buy a gold. They cost 6. And like everything that you buy in this game, they go directly into your discard pile, and then your hand goes in on top of them.
I'm buying a woodcutter.
Austin's buying a woodcutter for 4. It's going into his discard pile, and then his hand is going on top of it, and then it's John's turn. So the woodcutter gives you +1 buy, so it gives you an extra buy if you use it as your action, and it gives you 2 gold or 2 monies for that for your purchases. So you have 2 buys and 2 extra money for it.
So I'd like to just say real quick that Restream Audio, before I went live, I didn't check the settings for Facebook. It's mislabeled it that we're playing Settlers of Catan. So I'll have to, after we're live, I'm going to have to fix the video description.
After we're live?
Or after we're done.
After we're done?
Yeah.
Anyone out there watching through Facebook, thank you. We appreciate that. But we're not playing Settlers of Catan. That's a lie. It's a huge, bold-faced lie. We're playing Dominion, one of the original deck-building card games. Okay. So, John, is your turn.
Okay.
So, John's going to look at his first hand and see how much money he has. He has 1 action and 1 buy.
I have 3 coppers.
We know that he has no action cards because he hasn't purchased any yet. So, he has 3 copper, which means that he can buy anything that has a cost of 3 or less. And those are the woodcutter, the moat, the workshop, the village, and the cellar. So we talked about the cellar. It gives you 1 action, and it lets you discard cards from your hand and draw new cards.
Silver is also 3.
Oh, silver is also 3. So you can buy a silver for your deck.
Estates are 2.
And the estates are 2. Yes. All of these things can be purchased. So you could buy a silver and just be like, okay, well, I'm only going to have 11 cards or 12 cards in my deck from now on, but at least one of them is going to be a silver. So it increases your buying power, your theoretical buying power in the future. So John is going with the workshop. Again, the workshop allows you to acquire, face up in your discard pile, and then your hand goes on top of it. And then you draw a new hand. So, my new hand, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 copper. I have 1 buy, and my 4 copper is going to be used to buy a silver, and it goes in my discard pile. My hand goes on top of it, and then as I cannot draw a new hand, I'm going to shuffle my discard pile and put it back into my deck. That makes it Austin's turn. So let's talk about the mine. Oh wait, we'll talk about something Austin can buy. So the moat gives you +2 cards, so it's a draw 2. It's an action, it just gives you a draw 2. However, when other players use their action to do something bad, if you have a moat in your hand at that moment, the moat protects you from whatever bad stuff there is. So that's cool. We only have 1 card in this. This is the opening set. There's only 1 card in this setup that does bad stuff, and that's the militia. The militia, whoever uses it, gets to do +2 for their buy, but it also says each other player discards down to 3 cards in their hand, which is super annoying because when you take cards out of someone's hand, then it makes life much more difficult with only a 5-card hand. So now John is going to look at his second hand, and he's going to have 4, and he's going to think about what to purchase for 4. So the smithy lets you draw 3 cards. The woodcutter gets you +1 buy and +2 monies. Again, we just talked about the militia. Yep, goes on top, and then your hand goes on top of it. And then you draw a new hand. You can't, so you have to shuffle. I have drawn my new hand. I'm going to look at my new hand. It is 4 copper and an estate. And with these 4 copper and estate, I am going to purchase a silver. It goes in my discard pile. My hand goes on top of it, and then I draw a new hand. Austin has his new hand ready. He has an action card in his hand, and if he uses that action card, he can turn the 4 money that he has into more money. But you have to choose to use the action card first.
I'm going to use.
So Austin uses the woodcutter. It gives him +1 buy and +2 money. So he can buy 2 things with his 6 monies. What are you going to buy, Austin?
I'm going to buy
A market. Okay. Now, a market gives +1 card, so you get an extra draw. +1 action, so you can play another action. +1 buy, so you can buy 2 things. And +1 money, so it gives you a little bit of money to
also
buy.
buying
So he's
a
going
copper.
also to buy a copper. So he uses his 6 monies to pay for 5 and 0, because coppers cost 0. You can add coppers anytime you have a buy available. Okay, that makes it John's turn.
Okay, I'm going to use
John is going to use an action called
the woodcutter.
the woodcutter, which gives him +1 buy and +2 monies. So he has 2 buys. I don't know how many monies he has.
I have 3 copper.
Oh,
plus
so
2. So
He has a total of 5. 5
5.
monies with 2 buys.
if I
So he's buying a village, which is draw 1 card and 1 action, and what he purchases goes straight into his discard pile, and 1 moat, which is just the draw 2. And then he's going to take his hand and all his actions, put them in the discard pile, and he's going to draw a new hand immediately. My new hand has already been drawn. I have 3 copper and a cellar. So I'm going to use the cellar. It gives me +1 action. It also allows me to discard any number of cards and draw that many. I'm only going to discard 1 card, and I'm going to draw. And it is also another estate, so it did me no good, but I'm going to use my 3 to buy a silver, and that is my turn. And I immediately redraw. I only have 1, so I'm going to redraw. Austin has
2 coppers
2
and a
copper and
silver.
a silver, which gives him a total of 4 to buy, which is not bad. And he's going to buy a militia,
Don't do
maybe.
that.
Militias are the only card on the table we have that is damages the other players. A remodel. So a remodel allows you to. I'll read it out for you guys. So a remodel is trash a card from your hand. It's any card. Gain a card costing up to 2 more than the trashed card. So if you have something in your hand, like a copper, and you want to get rid of it, you can trash it and use it to gain a card that's worth 2 or more, or 2 or less. It is not a buy. It is just a trash for trash. So if you get rid of a copper, you're only going to be able to buy something that has a 2 value, which is only sellers and moats. Now it is John's turn. John is going to use a
workshop,
workshop.
which will give me 6 buying power.
Yep. Nope.
4.
It does not give you 6 buying power. A workshop
Oh.
lets you gain a card
Up
that's
to 4.
4 or less.
Got it.
It is not part of your buy. It is
Okay.
the action.
So then I'm going to use that.
So you use your workshop to gain a militia, and then you have a buy of 2. They're very different. You can use workshops to get silver as well. Alright. So, for my hand, I have 2 silver and a copper. That gives me a buying power of 5. With my buying power of 5, I am going to buy I'm going to buy a mine. Now, what a mine says is trash 1 treasure card from your hand, gain a treasure card costing up to 3 more, and put it in your hand. So it lets you turn your copper to silver and your silver to gold. So that goes in my discard pile. My hand goes in my discard pile. I draw a new hand. Austin's turn.
I have 4 buying power and no action cards.
4 buying power with no action cards.
I am going to buy a silver.
Austin buys a silver. That's the end of his turn. And then it's Sean's turn.
Okay.
Sean's turn.
Okay. So I am going to play the woodcutter.
Okay, +1 buy, +2 monies.
Okay.
Which,
So I'm going to.
how many monies does that give you?
I have 3 here plus 2.
So it's 5. So you can buy just about anything. The only things that are off the table are gold and provinces. And everything else costs 5 or less.
I guess I'll buy that.
Okay. Then it is my turn. I have 4. I have a cellar, which lets me discard things and draw new things. I know that I only have a couple of silver in my hand, so I'm not going to trade coppers for the chance that I might get silvers in this moment. That sounds crazy to me. But I am going to take a silver, and my turn is over.
Alright, I'm going to use my action of a smithy. Gain 3 cards.
So Austin gets to draw 3 because of the smithy. 1, 2, 3.
Can't use another action because it did not give me an action.
Right.
I have
A buying power of 5.
5. Which means I can buy most anything.
Yes.
I'm gonna buy mine.
Austin buys a mine. And it's John's turn.
Okay, I'm going to play a village.
Ooh, John plays a village. It takes a village.
1.
Draw a card plus
Plus
2
2
actions.
right?
Yep.
Can I play then a cellar to gain another action?
Yep. So the way that it's
Well-
going to work is on your village, you're going to
That doesn't
build.
make any sense.
You're going to build a little thing like this. So you use one action and then you do the other action,
Okay.
so that we know that
So I'm
and they
going
can
to
branch out into
play
long.
moat,
Okay, so you use a moat.
which gives me another 2 cards.
Yep.
And I am going to buy a copper.
Oh,
Because I only have 1 copper in my hand. The rest are all estates.
okay.
So
That happens. All right. Again, it's my turn. I have a buying power of 4. I'm going to buy a silver, and it's Austin's turn.
Alright. I'm going to use my market for my action. +1 card, +1 action, +1 buy.
Okay.
And I drew a mine. I'm going to
He's going to trash 1 treasure
trash
card
1 treasure card.
and turn it into the next level higher. And with a mine, you can immediately use that because it goes into your hand.
This gives me another buy as well as another money.
So you have 2 buys and you have 7 monies.
Yeah. And the only thing that costs more than 7 is a province.
Yep. So you can buy anything on the table except for a province. It's a good time to go for gold.
I'm gonna buy a gold.
Yep.
And then I'm gonna buy a copper.
Okay. That makes it John's turn.
okay. I'm going to play a woodcutter, which gives me
A buy
a
and
buy
2 monies.
and 2 monies. So I'm going to buy a gold.
Oh, you have to. So you have to show us what's in your hand. You can't just say I'm going to do something because
So I have 4 copper.
we learned the hard way that people cheat at this game.
So I have 4 copper plus 2,
Yep.
For
Gives you
6.
6 for gold.
and then I'm going to buy another copper.
Okay.
Because I have 1 buy.
Yep. All right. That makes it my turn. I have a cellar and a mine. I'm going to use my cellar, which gives me +1 action, as allows me to discard cards and draw. I'm only going to discard the estate and draw another card, and it is a copper. I'm going to use my action from the cellar on a mine, and I'm going to trash. I'm going to trash that silver to get a gold. And then I'm going to use the 6 that I have to buy another gold. And that is my turn. Oh, no. Oh.
You used a mine?
So I used a cellar to get a new card, and then a mine. And a mine allows you to trash any treasure card and essentially get the next one higher.
Okay. Okay.
So what it says is discard. Oh wait, no. It says trash a treasure card from your hand. Gain a treasure card costing up to 3 more and put it in your hand. Theoretically, you could just trash a silver for a silver. I've seen people trash gold for gold so that other people can't buy the gold. They're dicks.
So these can't be used again?
Correct.
Right, the trash is out of play. They're the only cards that are no longer in play.
Trash?
Alright, I have 6 buying power.
Okay, 6 buying power.
Anybody a market?
Okay, he buys the market. That makes it John's turn.
Okay. I have workshop,
A workshop.
and then I have 3 coppers. So the workshop allows me to draw a card of
To take any card 4 or less.
less. So I'm going to take the smithy, and then I'm going to buy a village.
Okay. That makes it my turn. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 copper and 1 silver, which gives me a 6. I'm going to buy a gold, and that's the end of my turn.
Alright, I'm going to use my smithy as an action. Oh, that's 3 cards.
So Austin is drawing 3. Sometimes in this game you cannot know or you cannot foresee needing to shuffle your deck because you can't shuffle your deck until something makes you draw from an empty pile. So it's not like you can just randomly shuffle your deck anytime you want. There are rules. Wow, okay. That was really lucrative.
I kind of built my deck on money. And so now with my 5 buying power, I'm going to buy another market.
Okay.
Making it John's turn.
That's the John's turn.
Gonna play market.
Okay, he plays the market. +1 card, so he draws a card. +1 action, so he has another action. +1 buy, so he has 2 buys, and +1 money, which gives him 1 gold in the bank, or 1 monies in the bank.
Okay. So I only have 1 copper.
So he has 2 monies. You have any other actions?
I do, but I don't.
What do you mean?
Oh, okay. Can I play? I'm gonna play the seller.
Okay, yes, the seller.
One
+1
action.
action.
Discard any number of
There
cards.
you go.
Plus 2 cards per discarded card. So I'm gonna.
+1 card.
Plus 1 card per discarded.
Right, so every card you discard, you get to
And
draw
that just
one.
goes here,
Yeah, it
right?
just goes in your discard. So you can discard literally anything that you're not planning to use, which is all 3 of them, right?
So I take those 2.
Yep.
And then
And I
shuffle.
shuffle. And the seller gives you an action, so you still have an action on the board. I like the seller. I use it a lot.
It is pretty decent.
Okay.
Okay, so I discarded 3. 1.
Nope. 2 there.
Yeah, I know. 2. 3. I discarded 3.
No. Those were the first 2 you drew from the discards.
No, this was.
That was the top of your
I
deck.
drew 1 then.
Yes.
1.
That was the top of your deck.
Okay.
You couldn't have had anything left in your hand.
Okay.
So you still have an action. You can change sellers off of sellers. That happens all the time. Village. Okay, good. The
Plus
village
1
gives you
card,
+1.
2 actions.
So now I have 3 copper.
Emote, draw 2. Anything else?
Okay, so I have a gold card. And I still have an action, right?
Yeah.
Because the village gives you 2 actions, so it branches out.
Woodcutter.
Okay, so put it next to the village. Yep, just like that.
Okay.
That way we know that that village has been used up.
Right.
So the woodcutter gives you plus.
1 buy plus 2 money.
Yep.
So I have 6 here plus 2 money. I'm gonna go
Plus
for
1.
8 and 1 buy. Oh, 9 and 1 buy because you get 1 from the market.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna go for a providence card.
Okay.
And then that'll
And you
be.
can buy another card.
You still have 1 buy.
I still have. So I have one coin, right?
Yep.
Yes.
1 coin, 1 buy. The only thing you can afford is a copper if you
Yeah.
want to have a copper.
Sure. Why not?
Okay.
Let's do it.
And that's the end of your turn. You see, it gets like pretty intense. Okay, so I have 2 silvers which is 4, 2 coppers, which is 2. That's a total of 6. I buy a gold. It's Austin's turn.
Remember to draw. It's kind of important, and this is why you bar down your
That's
your
a
deck
that's
with
a
money.
pretty good draw there.
So, with my
9.
Yeah, 9. I'm going to buy a province and a copper.
Okay.
You get 2 buys?
Oh wait, no, I don't get 2 buys. That was wrong.
You keep the province,
I keep the
put
province, put the
copper
copper
back.
Wow.
You don't get to just spend all your monies.
Nope.
No, you don't.
Alright, John, it's your turn.
Okay. I hate to do this, but militia, and then I have 3, so I'm going to buy a market.
So I
What do you
am discarding down to 3 cards, so I'm discarding these 2 cards.
I also have to discard down to 3. So
And John's turn is done,
discarding
which gives me a buying power
these
of
2
4, which kind of shot my plan in the foot. So
Sorry,
I
guys.
am going
I mean, I
to...
discarded a copper, so
So did I.
copper and an estate.
Okay. Austin, it is your turn.
Okay, so with my 3 cards, I'm going to use my market as my first action. My market gives me a +1 card, which also gives me a +1 buy and +1 money. And I'm going to use market off of my market to get +1 card and +1 buy and +1 money. And then I'm going to use that action to use a mine to trash my copper, turn it into a silver,
And then you have a
and
buy
then I
of
have a buy
5.
of 5. And I'm going to buy how much? Oh, I have 3 buys.
Yeah.
So that's 2, 4.
Okay.
Good play.
John, it's your turn.
Okay, I want to play a village, which gives me 1 card, plus 2 actions.
Yes.
So, for my second action, I'm going to play Smithy, which gives me 3 cards, so it's 2. That village card is useful.
Yeah, if you have actions to use it, it can be very useful.
3.
Okay.
Okay. I'm just going to separate out the estates.
That's
Because
what I always do. They're always...
they don't really do anything. Okay. So then my second action, I'm going to play Workshop.
Gain something for 4 or less.
Gain a village.
Okay. Put it in your discard pile. And that's...
And then I have a buy. So I am going to
Yeah, just 1 buy.
buy. I'm going to buy a remodel.
Okay. I have 11. I'm buying a province. And that's my turn.
I have 7. I'm gonna buy a gold, and that's my turn.
Okay. I'm play market.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a card. Plus another action.
Plus another buy.
Plus another buy. So I'm going to play market or a village. 'Cause I got crap for currency that time.
And the market gives you 1.
Yep.
So you have 2 actions.
So I'm going to play woodcutter. which gives me 1 buy plus 2 monies. So I'm going to. That's 2, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to buy a gold and a copper and call it a turn.
Okay. I have 1 silver, 2 copper, and a mine and an estate. I'm going to use my mine to turn 1 of my copper into a silver. So I have a total of 5 that I can buy. And I am going to buy. I have 1 silver, 2 copper, and a mine and an estate. I'm going to use my mine. A silver. Awesome, it's your turn.
Alright, I have an estate, 2 silvers, a copper, and a market. I'm going to use my market to draw a card. I'm going to use my action to place a card, which is a mine, and I'm going to change my copper into a silver. And I now have 6, 7, and 2 buys. So I'm going to buy a duchy.
What does the duchy do?
It's 3 points.
And I'm going to buy a boat.
Okay.
It's 3 victory points, 1 victory point, 3 victory points, 6 victory points.
What's the goal here?
When all of these are gone, whoever has most victory points in their hand wins.
Got it. Got it. Okay. I'm going to play market. And I have 2 copper. So the market gives me 1 card. 1 action. So I'm going to use that to buy, or to play a moat.
Draw 2 cards.
Draw 2 cards, which gives me another
You have a buying power of 4.
4.
My hands are all looking very similar to each other.
Market doesn't give you a second action.
Oh, that's right.
It replaces
The
itself.
moat. Yeah, okay. I gotcha. So that's 4.
Yep.
I'm going to buy a village.
Okay.
And then I have another buy.
Yep, you have 2 buys.
So that's 3. I have 1 buying power.
Yep.
So I'm just going to buy a copper.
Okay. That makes it my turn. I'm using a seller to discard the estate and draw another card. I have 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. I'm buying province. Austin, it's your turn.
I'm using my market to draw a card, and I'm going to use that market to draw another card, which was the province. And that gives me 3 buys and 5 monies. So I'm going to.
People talking?
Not as far as I can tell.
I'm gonna get another duchy,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna get 2 copper.
You have 3 buys. Oh, 2 markets, huh? Nice. Alright, John, it's your turn. This is one of those games where, like, even when it's not your turn, you still have to be doing stuff. Like, there's so much going on.
Right.
Thank
Give me 1
you.
second.
Yeah. Planning out what you're going to do is often a good strategy. Can you do this movie?
It gives the most chance of getting
Are
stuff.
you going to be able to draw? How many cards do you have? 2? So you're going to have to draw. You're going to have to shuffle your
Yeah, I can shuffle it.
discard.
I'm trying to get to where if somebody does comment, then I can respond.
On Facebook or on YouTube? Oh, I'm not really. I don't care about Facebook. Sorry, Facebook, I don't care about you.
Okay.
If you're watching via Facebook, thank you. We appreciate you, but I do not condone the politics of Facebook.
Facebook is not
1 card.
nice.
Yep. 1 card and 2 actions.
2 actions.
Militia.
I
That
have a moat.
seriously hurts. He's got one.
When
Okay.
another player plays an attack
Alright, you're just immune from the effects of it. So that gives me 2, 5, 6 buying power.
That totally changed what I was doing.
I'm going to buy a gold.
Okay. I am going to buy a silver. It's your turn, Austin.
I'm gonna use my smithy to draw 3, which is going to make me
Shuffle.
and then draw another.
Okay. So you have a buy of 4.
Yeah. And I'm going to buy a silver.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. John, is it your turn?
Okay. I just have 4 copper.
Buy a 4.
Let's see if that even get much.
I'm going to buy a victory.
Okay, buying a victory point. I'm also buying a victory point, and Austin, it's your turn.
Alright, I'm going to use my emote, which gives me 2 cards. Which just so happens to be money. And I'm going to use my stacks, my 7, to buy a duchy.
Okay. Makes it your turn, John.
Okay. I'm going to play market.
Okay.
1 card, 1 action, 1 buy.
1 money.
I'm going to play market again.
Okay.
1 card, 1 action, 1 buy. Village. 1 card, 2 actions. Village. 1 card, 2 actions. And I have 4 actions. 4 actions. And I have a buy power of 6 because of the cards.
We started late. It's almost 2:30, or after 2:30.
Yeah. Buy a duchy.
Okay.
And my turn.
Alright, I'm buying a silver into a gold. I'm buying a 2, 4, 7. I'm buying a gold. Austin, it's your turn.
I'm going to market to draw a card, which was a duchy. And then I'm going to play a mine off of that market and turn my silver into gold.
Okay.
And I have 6 buying power.
6 money,
And
2
2
buys.
And with that, I'm going to get
A
a
duchy.
duchy. And that's it.
Okay. John.
Okay. I'm going to play a remodel.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to trash the smithy, get a gold.
Does it say any card?
Trash a card from your hand, gain a card costing up to 2 more
Okay.
than the trashed card. And that's my turn.
Okay. 2, 4, 6, 7. I am buying a gold. Austin, it's your turn.
Alright, I'm going to use my market to get a duchy.
Alright.
And I have a 2 buys of 6. A buy of 6 and a buy
2 buys with 6 money.
2 buys with 6 money. I'm gonna get a duchy.
Okay.
And probably maybe buy a copper.
Should.
Maybe. Just water down your deck with ones. I don't do it. It's a strategy. What are you doing?
Okay. Village.
Uh-huh.
1 card, 2 actions. I'm going to then play Seller. So I'm going to
How many cards you discarding?
1.
Okay. So it says discard the card. So whatever you discard goes into your discard pile, and then when you're forced to draw, that's when, see how it works? Weird. It's the only card game in the history of ever where the card you're discarding gets caught up in the actions of the card you're playing to discard. But I mean, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Draw one. Okay, so I have a buy power of 8.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
By province.
You're done.
And,
I also have a buy power of 8 and buying a province. Awesome, it's your turn.
Using a market. Take a card.
Okay.
And I have a buy, or two buys with 8 months. And I'm gonna get a province, and that's it.
Okay.
play a village.
Mm-hmm.
Draw a card. Plus 2 actions. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna play a move.
Play it on the first village so that we can seal that one up.
Okay.
You don't have to, obviously, you can play that in any order, but that's just how we keep track.
And then I'm gonna play market.
Yeah.
It's gonna be another card in the buying power.
Yeah.
So let's just put my buying power out here. So I have 6 and then a duchy. I'm going to play a village. Okay, well, I'll play that.
Up here on this village next to that market. Yep, right there. It's a workshop. Gain a card 4.
Okay, so I will take. This village is a bit useful, but I'll take a smithy.
So you have a buying power of 7 and 2 buys.
7. Okay. I'll buy a duchy
Okay.
and a silver.
Okay. I'm going to use my seller to trash 3 cards and draw 3 cards. I'm going to use the second action as a seller to trash a card and draw a card. That was dumb. I have a buying power of 5. It is your turn, Austin.
Cool. I have 5 monies. So I'll buy a duchy.
Okay.
I have 4 monies, so I will buy a remodel.
Okay, I have a buying power of 9. I'm buying a province.
Oh gosh. Okay. This is bad. This is bad. I'm gonna use a smithy to get 3 cards.
Okay. One. You have a buying power of 1. You got 1 buy. Okay. Good job.
It's
Now it's
bad.
your turn.
Okay. Use woodcutter. Give me a 1 buy plus 2.
Mm-hmm.
So that gives me 5. I'm gonna buy. I'm gonna buy a duchy
Okay.
and a copper.
Okay. I have a seller. I'm going to seller these 2 cards and draw 2 more. I have a buying power of 6
What time do you need to leave here, Bob?
in just a few minutes. I'm watching.
Okay.
Okay, Austin, go.
I have a buying power of 8. Province.
Okay, John.
Okay. Marketplace. Card. Okay, so I'm gonna play remodel,
Okay.
trash a copper,
Mm-hmm.
and that'll give me a buy up to 3, right?
Right.
Okay.
No. This costs 0.
Oh, so I can't zero. I can't. So I can get something for 2, right? 2 more
Yeah.
than.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is a seller or a moat if you wanted to do that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then I'll do that.
You gotta trash the. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, and then I still have a buy.
You have 2 buys and 1 money so far.
So 3 monies
Okay,
and
2 buys and 3 monies.
2 buys. And
That's a horrible hand, Austin. Good job. This is why everybody out there watching. This is why you have to be aware that you are building a deck, and that deck is your hand every turn. I'm gonna mine a gold into a gold because screw you guys, and I'm gonna use a purchase power of 9 to buy a province.
Can he just discard his hand?
Well, he can just say I'm done. Yeah. So now it's your turn, John. Because he can literally do nothing with his hand. There's only 2 provinces left. As soon as they're purchased, the game is over. I am definitely purchasing one of them on my turn.
And I will do my best to do so.
Well, if John purchases one, then that's the go.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna play a village.
Okay?
Gain a card.
Gain a card.
Play a village.
Gain a card.
Gain a card. Play a village.
Gain a card.
Gain a card. Fucking dick.
What do you got?
So I have a workshop.
Okay, gain a card of
Which
4 or
village are you
less.
playing it off
Doesn't really matter. He's got 4 plays.
Yeah. Honestly.
of? I know.
Honestly.
I know.
Gain a card of 4 or less. Put it in the discard.
And then I have a buying power of 4.
Okay. Okay. I have a buying power of 9. I buy a province. Austin, it's your turn.
Alright, I'm using my market to gain a card, which is a moat, which gets me 2 cards. Which is perfect.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can
8.
end the game. Alright, Austin ends the game.
I win.
So,
I don't win.
now we count up the victory points in your deck. While you're going through, it helps to kind of separate all the cards out. My deck is really easy to separate out because I only buy like 3 cards.
On the other hand, do it.
There were 12 provinces to start. I bought 6 of them.
Way to go there, Bob.
I have 4.
So that means I only have 2.
1, 2, 3.
I think Bob wins,
Alright,
Austin, and then myself.
I have, well, it's your first time playing, so you didn't really know what to deal with or how to.
No, I'm just
Over
stating
there,
the,
so.
stating the results here.
45.
You were close. Because this is 36 plus 9 is 45, 46, 47, 48.
12,
I bought a bunch of duchies,
Yeah.
which
12,
definitely
15,
boosted me.
18, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25.
And I only started
What do you
buying
think?
later into the game.
I like it.
So in my hand, I had 2 cellars and 2 mines. Those are the only actions in my deck. It almost never works because someone else figures out to start using the militia against me. Okay.
Or the witch.
Well, that was
What witch?
a quick stream,
We're
you
not
guys.
playing with it right now.
We're going to play this game again probably here shortly in the next day or 2, maybe even tonight.
Oh, I hope it's tonight.
Until then, we thank you all for watching. Feel free to tune back into us. Smash that like button. Is that what they
Like with a
say?
hammer.
Hammer.
With a
That
hammer.
is a thing that
Hammer that like button. Oh no!
That's not the
He's
right-
hammering me in the butt. Don't hammer me in the butt. Alright, thanks for watching. We appreciate everybody. This has been Dominion, by Rio Grande Games with the Foxtrot here at the Foxhole.
We're borrowing Dominion from Great Escape Games. We
Yep.
love you.
Yep, we appreciate you, Great Escape. Again,
Boom, KGB.
Yeah, I guess that works.